So I've just gotten back from my first international trip in 18 months, and I visited Latvia, Lithuania, Italy, and Dubai, and they were all phenomenal. Each one of them have their own little special piece. Obviously, the Italian trip was a holiday and just so beautiful and so deep in history and sophistication, and just really loved it. But being back in Dubai and being back with my friends there really got me to think about success in a new way. And I made a post recently about how important our environment is. You know, we look at a bottle of water, and a bottle of water is seen and priced and perceived differently depending on where you are. Whether you buy it from a grocery store, which is kind of the cheapest, then you move into a restaurant that makes it a little bit more expensive. You go to a bar, it makes it a lot more expensive. You go to an airport and now it's ridiculously expensive. And I remember doing Base Camp Everest in 2010, and we were watching the price of water change from Kathmandu to Luca, which was the airport, and to every base camp or camp that we went through. Like Namcha Bazaar was another camp, a big camp on the way up to Everest Base Camp, and the water bottle price changed 100-fold from Kathmandu up to Base Camp Everest. And this idea is that depending on where you are and depending on how you're perceived in that space, you get value. And what we have to do in life is really move into the places where we are valued, where our skills are seen as extra special, as people wanting to pay a premium for them. And it got me thinking even further into this concept of success, because we all are inspired, and let's not kid, slightly jealous and envious of our friends that are successful. And it's just human, because most of the time I'm incredibly proud of my friends. But sometimes I think to myself, what did I do wrong? Or what did I miss along the way that my friends have got so much success and I've also got great success, but I mean, there's layers of success, right? And the more I drill down into this concept, the more I realize there are three clear characteristics that I see people that are incredibly successful for long periods of time that have these characteristics. Now, for short periods of time to be successful, you can be a bully, you can push your way through things. And in the old days, before the internet, you could get away with this. But with the internet happening, we can see that a lot of this undercover work is coming to the surface. And we can see this from Me Too movement and a whole bunch of other things that bubble these stuff to the surface. And so as we go into a more transparent world, the more we are practicing these three characteristics, the more we have long-term success. And the first one is sincerity. The more sincere we are, the more real we are, the more empathetic we are, the kinder we are in a state of sincerity, the more people react to us in a state of sincerity, and the more people trust us in a space of sincerity. Now, you can't fake sincerity. So it's got to be that something that's really heartfelt. The second characteristic is warmth, is to come at the world in a state of expectation of goodness, of warmth. And because of that state and because of that trust, because of that projection expectation, we then bring this warmth to the world. And guess what? The world reacts to us in a warm way as well. And this is true all the way from doing a big meeting all the way down to the person that's doing your grocery list for you, or doing the checkout for your grocery. So this warmth is right across. And the third one is competence, is doing what you say you were going to do. And in fact, maybe even a bit more. And so the more I travel and the more I see people that are successful, the more I realize the bottle of water analogy, go where you are celebrated. And that's really important. But once you're there, remember that if you're not sincere in your approach, if you're not warm in your engagement, and you're not competent in your actions, then we become less successful and more frustrated. So it's really dawned on me to become much more engaged with these three characteristics. It gives us an ability to build elegant status And we are all in the status game. We all build status in different ways. You know, you could have status when it comes to money, to power, to social capital. And inside all of those, there's layers and multiple layers of it. But right across all of them, the more warm, the more sincere, and the more competent we are, we can only be successful. Ciao from Cape Town.